it changes your outlook on life. It introduces you to a different culture and a different way of thinking.
I think that's very important to know each other and to respect each other, and also we can exchange ideas.
Those relationships we've formed in Japan aren't just benefit to Federation Council. I think that's the sort of thing that we absolutely need right around the world.
We established some fairly close relationships, not only on the council side of things, but personal relationships, which was very good.
Back in 1995, there was a councillor on the Coral Shire by the name of Derek Scone. He made a suggestion to council that we have a form a sister city relationship with a town in Japan.
A sister city is an alliance between two cities, one in Australia and one overseas. So there are many sister city relationships with China and America and European countries. And I think the Japanese was sort of left off the list a little bit because of possibly the war effort that had gone into. There was still sort of memories in that relationship. And so the Japanese sister city relationships weren't that well developed.
I was born in 1937 and experienced the defeat of Japan against the Allied country, including USA and Australia. In the deteriorated situation, we began to notice that we didn't have many friends in the world. By exchanging programs, citizens of both cities know they can be intimate friends after understanding each other more deeply. I believe that to have my friends in various countries benefit to keep peace of the world.
When Derek raised the prospect of having a sister city relationship, his wife had involvement with Japan and spoke fluent Japanese, which was a big help to us.
There was a request from the Australian Japanese Society for sister city relationships, if any councils were interested in joining in and getting involved with a sister city. And I thought since Corowa didn't have any current sister cities, it might be a golden opportunity to look into it. Unfortunately, all of the sister cities in Japan were far bigger than Corowa, and so I looked for a sister city that was lower in population and the lowest, and also had some sort of common interests.
私が町長をしていた時に、ある女性の高校生が一通の手紙をくれました。それはぜひ国際交流を進めてほしいと、こういうことでした。その頃横川町では小学生中学生を中心に、外国人の指導女子の招聘事業がちょうど進んでいた時ですので、横川も多くの子どもたちが国際交流を進めたいなという、そんな思いがあった時です。東京の方の国際交流協会の友好都市提携の調査がありまして、ぜひ横川町も参加したいということで、ちょうどその頃コロワにおきましても、日本の、いろんな都市と交流したいということで、7つほど日本からコロワに希望があったです。その中で、コロワは、私とも思う同じような希望の市町村を選んで、横川を一番いいなと。翌年ですか、東京で、開かれましたセミナーにお互いに参加をいたしました。
Off we went in November 1995. Two Aussies can't speak a word of Japanese. We landed in the middle of Tokyo. We attended that seminar there, and our now friends from Yokawa picked us up after that conference and took us down by bullet train. It was a fantastic thing for Bruce and I to travel on the bullet train down to Osaka and then over the hill into the Yokawa district. To be welcomed into their home, strangers they've never seen, it was just absolutely beautiful.
When the inspection group came to Yokawa 25 years ago, I joined the welcome party with my 2-month-old daughter. She was the youngest participant. Mayor at the time, Gary Paidevin and Bruce Cochran held my daughter then.
あくる年ですかね、オーストラリアに調査に行かしていただきました。人口規模が一緒でですね、そして観光ぶどう園があったりゴルフ場があったりということで非常に自然環境に恵まれた農村の町が共通をしていたんかなと。
Kayleen Severin, who was our interpreter while they were here, she owned a family property just out of Corowa, and we took them out there and she showed them around a bit of what rural life was about.
I was involved from when the first councillors from Japan came out to check out Corowa. So I and another girl were the interpreters on that very first trip. And actually the things that we went and saw around Corowa were amazing. A lot of places I'd never been, but it was really good because they showed them everything, you know, the industry, the rural side of Corowa, the golf clubs, the restaurants. It was really great.
ヨカチョも同じように、いい印象を持ってこれならいいなということで、帰ってまいりました。この4月に、コロワ市とヨカワ都市の、調印式を正式に、ヨカワでまず行いまして、そしてその年の8月に今度はオーストラリアへ私どもが行きまして、オーストラリアも同じように、調印式をしてですね、その年に、コロワと友好都市が本格的にスタートしたと。
In 1998, we visited Corowa with 11 high school students as exchange students and 4 attendants. Mayor at the time, Gary Paidevin, came to pick up Melbourne by bus, one way, long distance. I was so surprised at his hospitality. I felt as if we visited our hometown.
We started with our student exchanges because we felt that would be the greatest benefit in a relationship to try and generate that rapport with a foreign country.
中学生、高校生の交流が目的だったので、ホームステイを中心とした、教育とか異文化交流、これが主だったので、若者にとってはですね、個人でなかなかこの外国へ、行くことも難しいし、家庭に入ってホームステイをやってですね、豊かな新たな異国の文化こういうものが経験できて、いろんな面で将来異文化交流事業にそうした経験を生かして参加をしてくれて、その人の人生を豊かにできるんだろうなと、このように思っています。
It's showing them, what's it like to live in a different culture, what other countries look like.
This program can change someone's life. That's what I believe in. At first, when I was in high school, I hesitated to go to the school. At that time, I heard from Mr. Nagashio about the Sister City program. Since I wasn't doing anything much during the summer vacation, I decided to join the program. At first, I was the host family. Then the guy came to my house, was the same age as me, and he was very nice and funny. So we became really good friends, and then we thought we are like a brother from the different mama. That's what I thought. So I was really eager to go to Australia. Everything I saw in Australia was new, and then they inspired me in so many different ways. For example, like when I visited Korowa High School, I saw everyone was studying, but different from Japanese way. It was really big impact on my life. Like seeing everything made me think different way. Without the Sister City program, my life wouldn't be like this one. Yeah, I couldn't have been to America, or I couldn't have studied English. So maybe I didn't even finish or graduate high school. So I believe the Sister City program is always benefit to the young people.
You need a lot of cooperation, like the high school, they had to be on board, and then having families that could billet the exchange students when they came across, because that's the greatest benefit of it, to actually live with an Australian family, or our students going across there and living with a Japanese family was so beneficial.
And that's really wonderful that we have families in Korowa that hosted students, and they're to be thanked, because it's the community that keeps this thing going.
We had a young girl come to our house, a 14-year-old Japanese girl who could speak no English at all. It was fabulous. But because they just connected so well with our children.
Some families had kids that were playing sports, so they'd go to the local sporting arrangements, or others might take them down to Melbourne to go to an AFL game. Others might take them for a boat ride on the river, things like that. Just whatever happened, whatever was normal for that particular family was what they got to do. It was basically to give them exposure to the Australian way of life.
There's just this whole cultural sort of information that I think people don't realise they're taking in and thinking, gosh, this is really, really different and really interesting.
Our daughter Stephanie went over in 2004. She was 14, yeah. So she had a fabulous time.
And she was one of the younger ones in her group.
Yeah, she was too.
She's fairly out there, so she made sure she embraced everything that was going on.
When we went across, I did mention that if it was at all possible, I'd like to take the students to Hiroshima, because that was sort of very much part of the curriculum here. So they organised a one-day bus trip, and we were shown around the memorial, and they also got one of the survivors of the atomic blast who did a lot of poetry and drawings, and he also showed us around the memorial. I think every student came away from that pretty moved. It's quite confronting, the memorial in Hiroshima, and they came back with a deeper sense of what have actually occurred so long ago.
For some of these students, it's the first time they've been overseas. It's just wonderful to see country kids and country students from Australia being able to experience international travel.
In 2005, the Japanese government decided that they should have amalgamations within their local governments, and our sister city of Yokawa was amalgamated with their next door neighbour, which is the city of Miki. So in October 2005, we went back to Japan to re-sign a new sister city agreement with the new Miki city formation.
In 2005, my number one role as director of Miki International Association was how to make Korowa Shire City to be one more sister city of Miki. And we finished signing the sister city agreement for affiliation and its ceremony in both cities. After that, exchanging program with Korowa became one of the important events for Miki MIA.
Where Yoka might have had something like about 8,000 or 9,000 people, Miki City had somewhere around 100,000. So it was a joining of a smaller council into a big city council.
その後合併が済みまして、三木市にコロアから、20名ぐらいでしたかの方が来られて、その時の団長さんがリチャードさん。
So my dad was originally involved with through the Corowa Shire Council, and basically in 2005 he was part of the group that started it going again.
こういう交流がなければそちらへ海外へ行くこともないでしょうし、そういう学生の自分から行っておると今度実際に今度卒業して社会人になってもやっぱり海外へ行ってそれも私らが見違えるような私ら怖くて行けないようなところまで結構大胆に旅行されてるのを現実に何度か見ましたんで。
I really think that the cultural exchange is so important. In Year 12 I got the opportunity myself to travel to Japan, so I was able to go and visit some of the family that Dad had stayed with and build up a good connection with them. I started helping out with the program in, I think it was 2016. So the first time I believe I went across with counsellors Paul Meagle and Gail Law. I think we had about 8 students, ranging from around Year 9 through to Year 12.
I first went to Japan on a private visit in 2014 and really enjoyed it. So when the chance came to go with the council as a chaperone for the kids, I decided I'd go. I love kids anyway, I'm a real sucker for them, and I went and had a really good time. The 10 days that we were there, the understanding that those kids, I call them kids, had with the other kids was amazing, and I do believe in that theory that the more that we travel and the more that we learn about each other, the better the world will be.
As a chaperone, I noticed some changes of students. Before leaving Miki, Japan, they looked worried about their life, what's going on, what is new to them. During their homestay in a Federation Council, Australia, they really enjoyed hands-on learn-by experience, doing experiences such as feeding animals or seeing wild kangaroos, and then joining in communicative activities at school. They're really happy to exchange cultures. They feel, someone in the foreign country is my friend, and someone is always waiting for me.
In 2019, I went to Australia. I was a high school student. In Australia, I go kindergarten and elementary school and high school and junior high school. And I many times spend host family. I love host family. I'm a modern shrine. Japanese name Miko. It means a woman serve for a Japanese god. 外国の方が日本に来て日本の文化を学ぶっていうのは、結構楽しんでくださるんですけど、外国の方もよく、お祭りとかに来て神社を回って神社でお参りをしてくださったりとか、そろばんとかだとそろばんの全国大会とかがあって、その会場には外国の方とかもよく見に来られてます。 Miki City is a very good place. I will show you around when you come to Miki City. So please come. Thank you.
そしてこのプログラムに参加した人たち、また学生さんが多いように思いますが、2018年に姉妹都市提携の調印のために、娘も行ったんですけども、もちろんオーストラリアの皆様の国民性ということもあろうかと思いますが、訪問初日からいわゆる市長さん、市の職員いろんな方に歓迎していただいて、しかも気さくにですね、本当に昔から会っている友達のように歓迎していただいたことは非常に嬉しく思っておりますし。
I picked up the general manager and the mayor from Coral. We left here and went to a football game, which they'd never experienced before. Then after that we went out to, I took them on a pontoon ride out to Lake Urana, where we shared a few refreshments and sang songs out on the lake under the sunset. It was just absolutely magnificent, but that blew them away. So then we went over there, about 2019.
Yeah. From a personal level, it was really exciting for me. I hadn't travelled overseas at all. I think to go over and experience and have that time we had just strengthens us like as ambassadors for that. And as Pat said, the tradition of keeping that relationship, especially when it is so welcoming both ways.
When we arrived, it was just absolutely amazing. The bus pulled into the car park at the Civic Centre. We all got out of the bus and lined up, the group of us lined up, and they placed us in an order. And of course we single filed up into their, we'll call it their civic building, where there was rows and rows of people either side. They did it so well. It was really beautiful.
And then Gary Poitevin, who's probably the founding figure of all this on our side of it, for him to spot someone through the doors or in the crowd that he'd saw from years back, you could see those connections getting strengthened, and for us it was like, yeah, they took it so special, like to have us there, yeah, so grateful.
In 2019, I went to Japan as part of the exchange program as a chaperone. As a teacher, you're interested in how other things or other schools operate, and the kids were really, really great. We went and listened to the band practicing their after-school activities. We did a green tea ceremony. You stay in people's homes and you actually get immersed in the culture rather than just being a tourist that's seeing all the special touristy things. The kids in particular were immersed in it. They were in families. The kids went to school. That was their everyday life, and that's much more valuable than saying, that I've been to Japan and I saw the cherry blossoms.
Didn't know much about the exchange program before. I got involved with council, and then when I went over in 2019, probably the most accommodating that I've ever seen someone, and we had a big welcoming party. They were all lined the streets for us to walk through into their council chambers, and then met our exchange families and sort of talked with them a bit, and then we went off to stay with them, and then just back into sort of everyday life for them. Like, they take you around work, drop you into different activities around Japan, and then obviously on the weekends they get taken around to castles and gardens and that sort of thing. It's very different, a bit of a culture shock, like how they live and all that sort of thing, but it was great to see that sort of side of the world.
I went in 2019 at the end of year 7, and I went with Talana as the Japanese translator and with other people that I go to school with. We did lots of school club experiences, traditional calligraphy and a tea ceremony, and they taught us some origami at the junior high school. I think it's something that everyone needs to experience. Instead of just learning it in class, you actually go to the country, you actually learn a lot more. And you get a lot more exposure to just the whole culture in general.
やはり実際経験してみるっていうのを肌で経験するっていうのは非常に重要なことだと思っております。これからの日本また世界を担う子どもたちが国際対応能力という言葉がいいのかあれですけども、作っていくこともできますし。
The opportunity for that kind of cultural exchange and the personal exchange that comes with it with seeing how other people live a different way of life and introducing them to your own, for example, is, I really can't think it can be stated highly enough just how important that is, just with broadening people's minds and encouraging people to, I guess, think more carefully about others.
I hope both cities exchange not only students but also teachers or civil servants, to realize there are many ideas, many possibilities to improve. I want to both people become a global citizen living on the earth together.